Thank you very much. Good evening, friends. It's indeed a privilege to be here this evening, and I'd like to thank the Times Network for this kind invitation. So I'm going to try in the next 5 minutes answer a question: can India become a wish guru in healthcare? But to be able to answer that question, let's look at fields where India is a wish guru. Our deep commitment to democracy. In the last election, 642 million Indians voted, which is more than the combined population of 5 of the G7 countries. And for one voter, Mr. Darshan Das, who lives deep in the Gir forest, the Election Commission has been setting up a polling station because no Indian should have to walk for more than 2 kilometers or travel more than 2 kilometers to cast her or his vote. Adaptability. Indians can be found in all but 3 countries of the world, and wherever we go, we leave an indelible imprint, from becoming presidents to prime ministers to vice presidents of countries. And of course, our love for peace. In our glorious history of 10,000 years, we've never invaded any country. Let's look at areas or fields where we were once a wish guru and we can reclaim that position. Education. Takshila was established 1600 years before the first university in the West, Bologna. We now have more than 1,000 universities. We produce 6.5 million graduates, 1.5 million engineers, 300,000 MBAs, 100,000 lawyers every year. And guess what? By 2030, every 5th human being on this world who's a graduate will be an Indian. If we look at commerce, 1/4 of the industrial output and 1/3 of global trade was from India. And of course, in the last few decades, we made remarkable progress. We now are the 3rd largest economy in terms of purchasing power parity, 4th largest in terms of nominal GDP. And by 2047, when we'll be completing 100 years of our independence, 20% of the global middle class will be in India. Now let's look at healthcare. Some very impressive gains. When we became independent, our life expectancy was 32. Today, it's 70. Our infant mortality rate was 150. Today, it's 25. We have the world's largest health insurance program. 41 crore Ayushman Bharat cards have been issued. We have more than 170,000 Arogya Mandirs for primary care. We have ABDM, which is Ayushman Bharat Digital Mission, and we have Ayushman Bharat Health Infrastructure Mission, which has more than 60,000 crores allocated for improving infrastructure. And I think if we look at digitalization in health, it's a reality today. Arogya Setu, our app that looked at COVID, became the most downloaded app within 2 weeks of it being launched. CoWIN has records of 2 billion vaccinations, and if you look at the global picture, in many countries you still have to carry, including developed countries, a vaccination card. But for us, it's all digital. And if we look at eSanjeevani, that's a program that the Ministry of Health runs for telemedicine. More than 42 crore consults have taken place through this program. And what is very gratifying is that 57% of those teleconsults have been in women, because women find it hard sometimes to go in for a physical consult, and eSanjeevani has kind of changed that. Now, how can India become a wish guru in healthcare? Well, there are 3 key initiatives that can actually help us achieve that. And the first is Heal in India. But before I touch on health, let me just spend a moment on space technology. Now, everyone acknowledges India's strength in space technology. We've launched satellites for 36 countries, including the US. We have the ability to launch more than 100 satellites in a single mission. And our Mars Orbiter mission was the first mission in the world to reach the orbit of Mars in its maiden attempt. Now, look at what it cost. It cost $65 million, and film Gravity, which was made, cost $100 million. A year after Gravity, Interstellar was made. That cost $165 million, and the Chandrayaan mission to Moon cost $74 million. The reason I'm mentioning this is because we understand frugal innovation. So when a country chooses a partner in space technology, they look at technology, they look at cost, they look at expertise. And that's what happens when a family chooses to come to a hospital or come to a country. They look at expertise, they look at technology, they look at cost. Our cost is about 1/10 for many procedures compared to the West. our outcomes are comparable, and we have the experience and the expertise. We do more than 300,000 open heart surgeries a year, more than 250,000 knee replacements, more than 60,000 robotic surgeries, 22,000 kidney, liver, heart, lung, multi-organ transplants. And we have the best technology that is available anywhere in the world, whether it's a PET MRI, whether it's ZapX, or whether it's a proton that was acquired and established in Chennai a few years ago. The second initiative is, and that's where the strength of India in digitalization of our life is really going to contribute, and that is Heal from India. Now, what's stopping monitoring patients anywhere in the world through technology out of India? It's something that can be done, something that's already being done. eICUs, telepathology. There are 13 subspecialties in pathology, and there will never be enough specialist pathologies in niche areas. Telecardiology, teleradiology. If you want a complicated MRI reported, it can happen out of India. So this is going to definitely happen in the years to come. And then, of course, the most exciting is Heal by India. There is an estimate from the World Health Organization that by 2035, the world will have a shortage of 12.9 million healthcare workers. Any guesses where those healthcare professionals are going to come from? They're largely going to come from India, because India has the ability to train and produce 1 million healthcare workers a year. Nobody else can do that. Last year, for the medical exam, the entrance exam, 22 lakh class 12 students sat for 1,23,000 MBBS seats. There's still another 20 lakh plus kids who wanted to do medicine and we're very happy doing something in healthcare, whether it's in health IT, whether it's in nursing, physiotherapy, dietetics, or what have you, or healthcare management. We now have 808 medical colleges. Our number of medical college seats has doubled in the last decade. And we produce more doctors every year than all of Australia has. Australia has 100,000 doctors. We produce 123,000. Our postgraduate seats have gone from 30 to 72,000, and over a period of time that number will go up. So we will produce enough doctors, not just for India, but for the world. And because we have the adaptability and we are fluent in English, we are going to be able to do that. No other country is going to be able to compete with us. The second area is, in terms of Heal from India, is about pharmaceuticals. We are the world's third largest. We have the ability to provide vaccines. In fact, 50% of the global demand of vaccines out of India, 40% of all generics in the US, 20% of all medicines in the UK. And in recent years, we've seen a lot of progress in medical technology. There are several parks that have been established, and we are going to progress in medical technology as well. And of course, we believe in sharing. Through Vaccine Maitri, more than 100 countries got 250 million COVID vaccines. And we, of course, believe that the world is one family, and when India led the presidency of G20, we acquainted the world with the message, Vasudhaiv Kutumbakam. For the Global Association of Physicians of Indian Origin, and I just wanted to highlight that there are 1.4 million doctors of Indian origin across the world, and we in this society have members from 56 countries. In fact, every 7th patient in the United States is seen by an Indian, and while Indians make up only 2.5% of the British population, 18% of all doctors in the United Kingdom are of Indian origin. So our Prime Minister wrote us a message for our Gapio conclave, and I end with that, and I quote, and he said that our view is anchored in the ethos of Sarve Bhavantu Sukhina, Sarve Santu Nirmaya, which means may everyone be at peace and may no one suffer from illness. So, my friends, with that ethos, can anyone stop us from becoming a Vish Guru in healthcare? Thank you very much.
Mr. Sibal, if I could have you back on stage, we'd like to present you a token of our appreciation. And to do the honors, if I could please have Maruti Indoria on stage. And he is the Vice President of Times Network Digital. Sir, we'd like to present you a token of our appreciation. And thank you for gracing the occasion and for sharing your insights. as to whether India can become a Vishwa Guru when it comes to health. A symbol of our gratitude, a token of our appreciation. Maruti, if we can have you present Mr. Sibal this special recognition and honor. All right. Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you. Thank you, Maruti.